Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with this, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside, so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And finally, it's most people's favorite. This is application, where we take the past concepts from other live lessons and we see how they apply to an actual, real song that already exists. And since there's like 1,000 different ways to play any song, you're just going to work on the version that is appropriate for your level. So that might just mean playing one note at a time for right now. Or maybe you're working on chords or covering the full song. Or maybe you're just seeing how the song breaks down so you can better write and transcribe your own songs in the future. But whatever your level is, the goal is not this song. So even if you don't play the whole entire song, you'll get better by even attempting a little bit of it, and attempt it we shall. Welcome back to Learn Piano Live, everybody. Let's do this thing. My name is Jamin, and over here we have the incomparable Kendra.
Hello.
And hi.
Oh,
yes.
no.
I should totally. Okay, so we got Jazzy James here, and Jazzy James is I don't know what you call it. Kendra does too much work. She has for a long time, and so we're trying to like have James help out, because James is really good with computers and stuff too. So anyway, he's learning the ropes. But then if I say here's Kendra and here's Jazzy James, then when Kendra jumps in and says, guess what? Then it looks like she's just being rude and talking over top of James. So, I don't know. We'll fix that. So we have Jazzy James, who's learning the ropes, and the incomparable Kendra in the chat room.
Guess what? So on my trip to South Dakota, I got to see wild buffalo. There was like a whole herd of them, and they were like crossing the street in front of our car, and we had to wait like 10 minutes for them to all cross.
You've never seen a buffalo before?
Not that I know of.
Were you scared?
No.
Oh.
They were very peaceful in my experience, but
cool.
it's like really cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
First wild buffalo. In where again?
South Dakota.
South Dakota. Yeah.
It was really, really cool.
Nice. Well, let's get into our song. We've got, it's a really long track, so there's a lot of notes, but it's really repetitive. So I think pretty much everyone should be able to get through this song, maybe by the end of the lesson. We're going to start out on an E. So in order to find an E, of course, you have this whole chart up here. In order to find an E, you're just going to take any group of 2 black notes and drag the top note up 1, and you'll land on an E every single time. So down here, group of 2 black notes, drag that one up, you land on an E. And from there, you're just going to follow the ups and downs of this thing, going from an E up to a G, and then up to a D. So most people are going to be tempted to go down to here because D is right next to E, but that's not the one we want because obviously we're going up here. So we go from E to G up to a D. And then we're going to play D, C, D, E, B. So there's a lot of jumping around here. Why do birds suddenly appear? And then we've got every time is B, D, F sharp. This one right here is a sharp. Sharp means slightly higher than. So here's an F. Here's a note that's slightly higher than F. So it's F sharp. Every time you are near. So it's the same, basically the same set of notes here for every time, and you are near. Every time you are near. Every time you are near. Then we go back to the exact same thing that we did at the very beginning, which is why do birds, but this time we're going to say the words just like me. And then we're going to play the same exact thing. They long, but with an E first, and it should go down to a D. Kendra, if you'd make a note for me, I'll change that in the archives. Should go from E to G to a D, and then E to G to a not D yet, but first go too far, and then come back to D. Just like me, they long to be, and then close to you is the same exact notes there. So this thing is going to show up a whole lot, and we'll talk a lot more about why later. But E, G, D. Then we just repeat that entire thing, only now we say different words. So why do stars fall down from the sky? Every time you walk by is the exact same thing. Why do stars fall down from the sky? Every time you walk by, just like me, they long to be close to you. That's also going to come back the exact same thing, note for note, just different words at the end of the song. But first, we've got to do this thing, which is fast but not difficult, because it's going to just repeat a whole bunch of notes. So we've got G, G, and then A, B, B. It's just going to go back and forth between those. If you can find a G, you can go over one, play two of those, play two of those, play two of those. And then do the exact same move, but starting on D for sided to create. Watch out, there's no F's in this song, so we're going to play F sharp instead. Sided to create a dream come true. Then we're going to have a whole bunch of G's if we can just get an E and an F sharp in there for so they. So they. Sprinkled E, F sharp, G, A for your eyes of blue. So we got a ton of G's there, and then we got to play the line, your eyes of blue. Then this whole thing down here is the exact same thing we've already played twice in the song. So like I said, a really long track, but not actually that many different notes. We've got this section right here. We would call this A. This section right here, and this is kind of goes into like a song breakdown, but we won't get too far into it. This is the exact same thing. We could call that section A. Then right here, all of this here could be considered like section B. And then we'd come back here, and all of this would be considered section A. So the form is kind of A, B, A, if that makes any sense. At the end of their song, they go back into B and A and do that again. But for all the notes that you need, A, B, A, let's try this thing with the track. Here we go. 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, why do birds suddenly appear? Every time you are near, just like me, they long to be close to you. Exact same thing again. Get that E and that G. Why do stars fall down from the sky? Every time you walk by, just like me, they long to be close to you. Okay, now we gotta find that G. Get ready, and here they come. On the day that you were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. Here come the G's. So they, G, G, section again. Back to these 3 notes. That is why all the girls in town follow you all around. Back to these 3 notes again. Just like me, they long to be close to you. That's pretty much it. Like I said, a lot of notes, but not very many different notes. So that's all really good news. And you got your chart up there with all of the notes on it. And yeah, I think that's good. Perfect timing.
Hey, Jamin, it's time to take a break from our lesson for the feature of the day, which today is the tip of the day.
Okay. So, the tip of the day for today is this phrase that pretty much all music teachers, I think, know or have heard or use all the time, and it doesn't make very much sense, which is if you want to play fast, you have to think slow. And if you want to play slow, you have to think fast. So, here's the thing. If you got some really fast song, usually everybody tenses up and like tries harder to do that thing. But that actually is really self-defeating, because the harder you try at it, the slower you're going to end up going, which we have this in all kinds of other things like golf or ballet or cutting wood with an axe or swinging a bat or anything where like we say go slow or do it smoothly.
It's probably more dangerous with an axe, though.
Oh. Yeah. Good point. So,
is this like a good time to like pop in with personal experiences, or not with an axe?
No, it's never a good time.
Piano.
Okay. No, the point though is like if you have an axe, let's go with that one, and you're like trying really hard to like cut through some wood, then it's not going to go as well as if you just really smoothly take it and use the weight of the axe itself and just go really smoothly. So the same thing is true for like trying to play this stuff. You want to be relaxed, but not really relaxed like slow, but relaxed like telling yourself that it's a really slow thing and allowing your fingers to move more, I would say fluidly, than fluidly. Yes. So if you got some really fast thing, you're gonna have to think really slow. And we also like the counting on it. If you're like trying to count 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and like count out all of your stuff, that's just not going to work out. Your brain can't work that fast. So instead, we just think about not all the pulses, but only some of them. So if we've got something that's going to go 1 and a 2 and a... A lot of you in Clapple Academy are doing this stuff, right? Oh, sorry about that. Think. So if we have to go really fast, what we're going to think is, as you can see, my head was doing it. I didn't even intend to do it, but just like... I'm just thinking about 1, 2, 1, 2. So I'm not thinking about each individual. I'm just thinking about like landing at the key points at the key points. So that's the in order to play fast, you got to think slow part, and then in order to play slow, you got to think fast. And this is something that drummers especially need to know. But as a pianist, you're part of the rhythm section, so it's important for you as well. And that is if you've got something that's really slow, like this song. Like the tendency on a really slow song is going to be to speed up because your brain's going to go, wait, we're not playing notes and I already know what the next note is. Let's go ahead and jump in and play it. And that's going to mess it all up. So if you want to play something really slowly, you've got to end up doing the opposite of what we did before, and that is subdivide. So instead of thinking of even though those are the pulses that you are playing, bum dum bum ba ba da ba da, we want to think bum 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 ba dum 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 gum gum dum 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 bum ba dum 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 gum bum, and put as many beats in there as possible, so crammed full of beats that we can't smash them together and end up going faster. So having a whole lot of beats will force us to stretch out the beats and actually go slower. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, can I like share something really quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was doing Clapple Academy, I learned Take the A Train for my jazz piece or whatever. And I remember when I was trying to learn it, I would go really fast at the beginning because I just wanted it to be fast. I wanted it to be like the normal pace.
Yes, right.
So I was like getting really frustrated with myself because I couldn't do it fast without making mistakes. So I had to learn it really slowly.
Yes.
So that I could then memorize and learn what the movements were and what keys I was supposed to play, and then once I got that down, I was able to little by little go faster.
Yes.
But it took me a while.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, it took you a while to learn the song, but here's two other things that weren't supposed to go in this lesson, but I'm a teacher, and so I just talk way too long. So the first one is, if you practice something, I don't want to forget the second one. If you practice something way too fast because it's fun to play it fast, your rhythms will be off and your brain will memorize those wrong intervals or those wrong percentages between those wrong relationships between the notes. And when you go to play it slow, you won't be able to play the song slowly because when you start the song, your fingers just go and you're not actually in charge of it. You want to be in charge of all of your motions. So making sure that you are playing slowly forces you to on purpose play every single note. That way you can play it quickly or slowly. If you only practice fast, you'll never be able to play slowly. You'll never be able to play any slower than fast and incorrect. So I see this constantly, day after day, with students who think it's really cool to play fast. It is really cool to play fast, but they're not in control of what they're doing. So I'm like, all right, cool. Now let's try it with the slow track. And they're like, the track messes me up, which is kind of true, but the truer true is they're just playing it wrong, and the track reveals that, and they don't like that at all. So I try to find a nicer way of saying that. And then the other thing, of course, I forgot because I was afraid that I would. Practicing too fast. Oh, the other thing that all the teachers know and students just can't grab onto is that speed is so easy. Compared to smoothness, speed is so easy. So I've got, I'll have a student practice something at like 50% speed. And it's so, like you were talking about, it's just so frustrating because you feel like I'm putting all this effort in. It sounds stupid. It doesn't even sound like a song yet.
And
it's
like, when you've got a habit of playing it wrong fast, you go to break it down slow, and it sounds messed up.
Yes. And your teachers are forcing you to go this slow pace. You're like, I'm such a loser. I'm spending hours working on this thing, and it's never going to sound like anything. The truth is, the amount of time it takes you to learn the whole song at a crazy slow, frustrating, annoying, slow speed is like 90% of the work. And then taking it from that incredibly slow, frustrating, this song sounds stupid, I'm not a pianist yet, speed, and going from there to like full speed, 100%, that takes zero time at all. So speed is easy, but smoothness is really difficult. So if you are in that situation with some song, it's like, this is crazy slow, I'm never, ever going to be able to play the song. Just trust me, get to the end of the song slowly, and then you'll be able to play it at full speed in no time. Speed is easy. All right, enough talking. Let's get back to our song after this short break. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out. And if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us.